What is up, YouTube? It's the only aka MightyFan coming at you again with another In the Life video here. First of all, got a couple of pickups here. And we're going to talk about summer plans, because Memorial Day weekend is next weekend. Means summer's just around the corner. Going to talk a little about what I'm hoping for collecting-wise for the summer. And let's go, right? So, first of all, we got the pickups. This one actually came a little earlier than I thought it would. Remember, I had mentioned in previous videos that I pre-ordered this from MLB.com shop when it became available. And originally, I thought it was going to get to me, speaking of the summer, in the summer. But I saw it started making the rounds with some other people, so I figured I'd probably get it pretty soon, and indeed I did. So we got the City Connect Houston Astros Space City jersey. Again, this is a replica. The Authentics, like I said before, are just outrageously priced. And aesthetically, everything on this jersey is pretty much the same as an Authentic if you just look at them from afar. Obviously, the stitching, obviously the generic, pressed on, I should say, instead of stitched. And, it's a swingman jersey. It's basically what is a baseball equivalent of a swingman jersey. But the price point is certainly better than an Authentic. And aesthetically looking, it's pretty much the same as an Authentic. There might be a few things here and there, but, it's got the patch on the sleeve. It's got everything else that the Authentic has. So, for a cheaper price. So, is what it is. Not that I would, I would love to get Authentics and Nike. And I do think it's funny that I'm looking at an Authentic right now, and this Authentic is a team issue that I got cheaper than what you can get on Fanatics or something for an Authentic jersey, which is nuts. But anyhow, let's get into the jersey here at hand. And then I got this one, which I forgot to show in the last video. Everything was running too smoothly in the last video. I knew I was forgetting something, indeed. I forgot to show one of the jerseys that I grabbed. But anyhow, we got the Space City in the front right there. I love the gradient going down on the pins, on the piping as well, down the front. You got the Nike swoosh. You have that kind of, gradient map looking, deal on the sleeves. Which is very cool. I love that. It just really, this so far is my favorite City Connect jersey. And it's obviously the only one I own to date. There are others I want to get, but this is the first of the ones I was able to, that I went after, I should say. And then we have Go for Launch on the inside collar, the back collar. You got that patch, that Space City, patch, Houston, Texas, right there on the others, on the one sleeve. Very cool. You got the Batterman right there, the piping again going around, a gradient, very nice. I love the NASA font. That NASA font right there for the name Altuve. It says Jose Altuve. I know that you can make all the trash can banging jokes you want, but they didn't affect my Phillies, because my Phillies weren't very good to get into the playoffs to play this team so far. But anyhow, no, I understand people have the feels, but it's still a nice jersey, and I had to have it. And the 27, again, in that funky font right there. Very nice. Love, again, the NASA font going across the front for the Space City. Really nice. And you saw the hat before. I forgot to bring it down, but it does go with the jersey. So there is jersey number 1, right? And here is jersey number 2. Now this was a team issue jersey that I got a bit back at the ballpark at Citizens Bank Park. My goal for this year, for this season, is I wanted to get one jersey, at least one, team issue or what have you, with the Dick Allen memorial that they wore last season on the sleeve. And not only did I get a jersey of it, it's my favorite Phillies jersey, the throwback right there. And obviously, Dick played in this jersey back in the late 1970s when he came back to the Phillies after a time with the White Sox. But so this jersey obviously is their Throwback Thursday home day jersey. It is the throwback road jersey from back in the day, but love it so much. I have quite a few of them. Of course, you see the particulars with the old logo right there. You got the Nike swoosh, double stitching for the 44s. This is a Kyle Gibson jersey, who's one of their starters. The player didn't matter to me. I mean, it could have been Joe Schmo. I wanted an authentic team issue, or even game worn, with the 15 patch. And there's the 15 patch. There you see it right there. For, of course, the late great Dick Allen. Richie Allen right there. Of course, passed away. The Phillies did retire his number 15 before he passed away. He should be a Hall of Famer. He isn't. But we all know he should be. And there is the memorial that the Phillies were for him last season. And there's the back of the jersey. You have the Batterman in that old colorway right there. Gibson on a nameplate double stitching on the 44s. Very nice jersey. There's the Jock with the hologram. All the particulars right there. And this jersey, and I do get a little discount because being any kind of season ticket holder, you get a discount at the stores. So this jersey was originally $300, and I got it for less than that because I got my discount. So this jersey cost me less than a retail authentic on Fanatics. And this is a team issue jersey. This is basically what they would wear on the field. And I was able to get this cheaper than what they... It's ridiculous. It's like, come on. But the racing stripes, too, going down. And, of course, the sides as well. Beautiful. We all know the particulars of this jersey. And like I said, I wanted to get at least one with that Dick Allen memorial. And there it is. Just need his jersey, his Phillies jersey. Someone has one. Man, they were a pal. So anyhow, there are the latest and greatest. I apologize. I had a lot to show last time jersey wise, so this one just kind of got lost in the in translation there, but showed it this time. That's what counts, right? Better late than never, as the old saying goes. So let's get into the hat pickups, because you can't have jerseys without hats. Combo wombo. You cannot have one without the other. Okay, like I've said many a time, the sneakers, I have a few that go specifically with some jerseys, but I'm not a sneakerhead by any stretch of the imagination. If I can speak right tonight. I am a hat head. I'm a jersey head. That's for sure. So those two always got to go. Sorry if I'm making you motion sick by adjusting this. A little Blair Witch action for you. A little Cloverfield action for you. As I get set up. All right. Let's see. I think that should be good. Right. A little better. All right. Let's get into the lids portion of this. Not the store, just the hat. All right, 2 of these may have come from the website, but none of these came from in-store. I got a couple Macari pickups, and I got an eBay pickup, and I got 2. I want to say I got them from lids. It all blends together, that Fanatics lids. It just, So whether I get it from one source or another, they're basically the same online, because they're all under that same umbrella, which, of course, now owns Mitchell & Ness, right? But anyhow, let's get into it. So this is the hat I keep forgetting to share. So this is the one I got a bit back. Speaking of the old school Phillies, right? More of that flex fit, 3930, but very comfortable. As I said, these hats are, perfect for me. I love these. I love the 5950s. Don't get me wrong, but these, they're floppy full. They're light. I can wear them better when it gets warmer, which we're getting. I think it's gonna be in the 90s this weekend. And I'm going to be visiting my buddy Slim this weekend in Maryland. And Nostalgia Boy and Peter Tom Willis as well. This is going to be good to see the fellas this weekend. My first trip to Slimland. So I'm looking forward to it, Slim. You know. But anyhow, here is the Phillies, the old school Phillies. We got the Phillies on the back. You know, floppy hat, 3930 light hat. I can wear that all day in the heat, even though I become a faucet in the heat. But it is what it is. All right, my fellow Phillies brethren, you gotta avert your eyes on this one. This, I know they're one of the enemies, but I had to have this. The Mets hat right here because it's a pinwheel. Ooh, I love the pinwheel power. Love the pinwheel hats from back in the day, right? They need to make a comeback. They really, because they're just so colorful and they go with jerseys. You know, perfectly with jerseys. That's what they were made for back in the day. They continue to do so. This one goes with my 86 Mets jerseys, of which I have a few. I don't have all of them. But I have a few. This was an eBay pickup. I've actually been watching this for a while, and I finally just figured, you know what? The Mets are playing really well. Let me get this off the list before an actual Met fan gets it. So maybe I took this away from a Met fan, which is all right. But I got it for my 86 jerseys because it just goes perfect. The white in the front. You know, it goes perfect with those jerseys. Like I said, I've had this on my watch list for a while. I'm actually surprised it stayed that long, but I'm not complaining about it. Next off, we have I got this secondhand. Originally, this was a Toppers hat. I wanted it from Toppers. I never got it from Toppers. And Toppers is a company that if they put something out, they usually will like reissue it at a later time. So this came out a few times and I didn't get it because I didn't have the availability to get it at the time when it kept when it relisted. So this was on Macari, and I paid a bit over retail, but not much. You know, and I'm not one of those that's going to pay a bundle off over retail, right? Not much over retail, maybe a couple bucks here or there with the shipping and whatnot, so it wasn't too bad. But we got the Rangers. I just love that logo on the front. And you got that on the side. I have a Nolan Ryan, Mitchell Ness with that on the sleeve. So, you know, obviously combo wombo it up. Good green on the bottom. You got the white gut. And, yeah, good new era 5950 hat right here for the Texas Rangers. Again, this is originally a Toppers hat that they created some time ago. I think Hat Club made a nice one today, too. Kind of similar to this. Although I think it had the 40th anniversary on the side. It was nice. It was a black hat with red accents. So nice job by Hat Club on that one. Looked really sharp. Did not get it, but it looked very sharp. This is one, again, whether it was... I want to say these were from Lids. I'm pretty sure this was from Lids' website. And not Fanatics, but we got the Copa right here for the Jersey Shore Blue Claws. The Medusas is what they're called, and for Copa, and that's their on-field 5950. Very colorful. There is a jersey of this I want to get, which is kind of why I got the hat. Like the logo there in the front. These Copa hats, they're just awesome. Great logos. There's so many out there that I want to get, but obviously you can only move on when you can, right? So there's the Phillies affiliate, one of the Phillies affiliate. Here's another one. I don't remember if I shared this one. I know I showed this one to the fellas in Views from the Vault during one of their lives on Instagram, but don't think I shared this one on YouTube yet. The Clearwater Threshers, on-field fitted. I showed you in the previous video, I got that Mother's Day, jersey from the Threshers. So it does have kind of the pink accents, and I don't know if this is supposed to be like a Mother's Day hook or whatever, but it has a little pink to it, if you can see that, and also on the back, Batterman, with the Jackie Robinson, of course, right there. You got the Black Nasty, as Pierre would say, under, but it's an on-field fitted black gut, big logo on the front. So a couple Phillies minor league affiliates right there, Clearwater and Jersey Shore. All right, and that's it. That's it for the pickup. Short and sweet. A couple jerseys, one of which I kept forgetting. I knew I was forgetting something last week. Last time I did a vid, which was Cinco de Mayo, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm like, damn, Because after I'm like looking, I rewatch, what I filmed when I put it on YouTube. I'm like, the Gibson, damn. I said everything was going too smooth. I knew I forgot something. So I'm like, all right, next time I do it in the life, I'll share it. So you saw it a little late, but you saw it. And this Phillies hat, like I said, I've forgotten this a couple times. So you're finally able to see it, right? So yeah, 5 hats, one of which I should have showed before. 2 jerseys, one of which I should have showed before, but best laid plans. Now you've seen everything. Like there's nothing here that you haven't seen as far as pickups. They're all in. They're all accounted for here on YouTube also, right? And speaking of pickups, you know me. I'm not going to say what it is, but there's a jersey I want to get tomorrow on eBay. Hoping to grab it. It's been on my list for a while. One popped up. I'm like, yeah, I got to try to get this. So we'll see. Will I get it? What is it? You'll have to see in the next episode of In the Life, which probably will be soon. If everything works out, I should have the next episode up maybe either before or on Memorial Day weekend, just depending on how things go. So there's that. And other than that, like I said, we're coming up on a holiday weekend. Next weekend, Memorial Day weekend. Today is the 17th of May. The days just blend in so much. Had a good weekend this past weekend with my buddy Mark M. We went to the concert at Asbury Park, New Jersey. Deftones was playing. We got to see them with Gojira. I've never seen or heard about. I'm not always in the loop when it comes to everything. And Gojira is just one of those groups I never really got into. I never really followed. But sometimes, that's the cool thing about seeing these concerts. And I would absolutely recommend, if you have a favorite music group out there, see them live. You have to see them live at least once. This is the 4th time I've seen Deftones, and they always put on a very good, energetic show. I got some good picks. I'll try to share some of those picks in a future vid. I'm not going to do it now because it's too hard for me to try to edit a vid if I have a long piece of it. I just don't have the memory on the phone for it. So I'll have to try to edit those picks in the next time, or when I do some shorter vid. But I got some good picks. I solid picks, some frameable stuff. So I'll be, doing that at some point. And absolutely, if you ever have a chance to see your favorite group play live, do it because it is an experience. As great as it is to hear them or even watch like concerts on YouTube or whatnot or on, a DVD or whatever, where I stream it, whatever you do, there's nothing better than seeing it live. Nothing. It's the energy from the crowd. It's, even though, there's people that can be kind of, a few in them or few in them. It's either one or the other, right? It's either going to be a couple drinks or a couple tokes there, but, it is what it is. But it's part of the experience. I mean, that live energy from the crowd and just the music. I mean, nothing beats it. Just nothing beats it. And I've been fortunate enough to see them 4 times. As I said, this is the most recent. This is a concert that should have been in 2020, but obviously we know what happened in 2020. Everything got pushed aside. So this was 2 years in the making. And we were just, stoked to go see them. And as always, they put on a good show. And I thought it was kind of cool because there was a part of it where, the lead singer, Chino, he likes to get into the crowd. And we were about maybe, it was standing room, it wasn't like anything with seats. It was just one of those venues that you're just kind of there. You pick where you want to go and whatnot. And I've learned. This is, for me, I've learned where I can't be. At concerts, as much as they're fun, I know me, and I know where because the second time I saw them was at Festival Pier in Philly. It used to be Festival Pier. Now it's gone now. And so the first time I saw them was in Camden. It was at the but now I think it's the Freedom Mortgage Pavilion, whatever it is. It keeps changing the name, but it's there in Camden, okay, on the waterfront. And I saw them with System of a Down. Awesome show, amazing. For my first Deftones show, that's the one you want to see, right? Two groups that I like. So, but there were seats. There's a pit area, and then there's seats, and then there's a lawn area in the back. So, we're in seats. Whatever. Now we're up, we're standing, we're doing all, whatever. But then so I never saw a show up front. I'm not a huge concert. I'm just not. Never really have been until started wanting to see, Deftones whenever they come in the area. First ever concert I saw was the Monster Tour, REM, back in the 90s at the old Spectrum. And I'm glad I saw a show, at least one show in my life, at the old Spectrum. And that was... So I went from REM's Monster Tour in the 90s to Deftones back in... Oh, God, I forget what year it even was. I want to say it... 2012, maybe 20. It was something like that. Mark remembers. I'm just not. I know the other two were 2016 and 17 because it was back-to-back years, and then obviously this past weekend. So I saw them. So this was the first time I actually was up close to a stage. Now, afterwards I heard it was a real wild crowd. Like, this was just an overly energetic crowd, right? So I'm there. My buddy Mark M is there, and another friend, acquaintance is there, and we're, obviously the other groups come on. I think Refused played that group that concert. They were the Deftones was the headliner, but Refused came on before them. Then Deftones, right? Now, see, this is again not having that experience, so you make mistakes. So we got there real early. Like real early, because there was no assigned seating. You can go wherever you want. And I'm telling my buddy Mark M, I'm like, let's try to get as close as we can. Let's just get there real early. There was a place, I don't know if you're familiar with like Dave and Buster's. There's a Dave and Buster's there, right along Penn's Landing in Philly. We ate there. I think we had some lunch, and then we waited outside. It was a hot day. It was in August, if I remember correct. It was in August. It was a hot day, and we're standing outside. It got to a point where I had to go down the street a little bit and get some Gatorades. It was just getting too... But I couldn't sit. I was just so energetic, I couldn't sit. And I must have been standing out there outside of the gate for how many hours? Then we get in. And if you know anything about concerts, you know that, look, regular concerts, not like those big, events, but like a regular concert. So you have a group come out, do a set. Then you'll have the second group and then the headliner, right? The headliner's last. The concerts usually start around, I don't know, 6, whatever, between 5 and 6. So we get in, gates open, we get in, go to the front, right there, center stage, right in front. We saw the other group come out a bit later. They did their set. Then Refused came out. They did their set. And if they started getting a little wild... Right? The first group was like, the crowd was just kind of there. And, I'm thinking, boy, this is like nothing. This is all right. I could, whatever. Everybody always talks about concerts and wild and this and that. This is like, of course, little do I know. So then Refused comes out. Now it starts getting a little, now the crowd starts to, you got crowd surfers, you got all that. Now, whatever. It is what it is. Hey. That's cool, right? But I'm on my feet the whole day. And now I'm starting to feel it. Now I'm starting to get now I'm like, oh no, that this isn't, but I'm there. I'm right so close. I'm like 4 or 5 rows of people back center stage. This is my group coming out now, right? This is what I waited for. But there's smoke. There's all this stuff. The Deftones comes out. And now the crowd really gets going. Now comes now we're on the teeter-totter. Now everyone's swaying this way, that way. Everyone's shoving up against each other, and I'm getting kind of pushed in. And and again, it's hot, and I was probably a little dehydrated. All right, I was probably a lot dehydrated because I didn't have anything to drink since the Gatorade waiting outside. Right now, and it's just this you're getting motion sickness. It's just back and forth because it's just the whole group back, forth, up, back. Here, and Deftones is playing like their first song, and I'm going, oh no. And I found Mark, and I'm like, Mark, I gotta get to the back. I'm gonna collapse. This isn't good. This is not gonna be a memorable moment for me. Right? So we got to the back. I got a water. There were some picnic tables at the back. I'm like drinking this thing. I'm like, and I felt so bad because I'm like, damn it, I was that close. And I was like 2 songs in, I knew, but I'm glad I did it. It's like you always say, you got to know your body. You got to understand these things, right? If I would have gone down with the way that crowd was, I don't know. I mean, I would have been out on a stretcher or something, and I would have missed the whole damn show. Right? So I'm like, I got to get to the back. I didn't want to, but I'm like, I have to. Because if I don't do this, I'm going to fall. I'm going to go down. And the way this crowd is, forget it. They might not even know I'm on the ground. So anyhow, long story short, I know it's always a long story. So the next year they come back to Festival Pier. So this time we have a better plan. So we get there a little later. Don't wait outside as long. We go in. We still get really a good sight view. I think we were about a few rows back, but towards the side of the stage. Not in the middle. I'm like, we're staying away from the middle this time. Side of the stage, still a great view of them. It was great. It was a wonderful show. That one they came with Thrice was the group that came on before them, and then obviously Deftones came out. And I just kind of felt vindicated because I'm like, I get a second. And then no, I didn't move. This time I wasn't going to the back. This time I was staying where I was. And so this time, on this past weekend, kind of similar deal. The Stone Pony is kind of similar to what Festival of Pier was. It's standing room, no assigned anything. And so again, kind of going through it, I'm like, all right, Mark, this is where we're going to go. Towards the side. So what happened was, so the first, group comes out, they play their set. And then Gojira comes out. And again, I didn't know anything about Gojira. And I loved what their sound. They just had a really good sound. They're energetic, getting the crowd into it. The weather wasn't the greatest. It wasn't like raining heavy. It had rained heavy earlier in the day, but by the time we got there, it was really more of just an annoyance rain, We got wet, but it wasn't like we got drenched, But it was an overcast day. It was an ugly day. The weather wasn't the great, but at least it wasn't humid. It was nice, So, all the groups were like, it's a rainy day, but you all are, screw the rain. Right? And I tell you, it was great. Like the guitarist of Gojira, at that time, I think, obviously during a concert, you're going to get shifted around. So wherever you stand at the start of the show, you're probably going to be somewhere else towards the end of the show. That's just how it goes. So I was, again, we're kind of towards side of the stage, maybe about 5-6 rows back, maybe, give or take. But the speaker's right there, so I got my hearing back after a little bit. It's worth it, though. It's worth it, okay? So anyhow, I'm there. I'm looking, and again, I know nothing about this group, but I'm just, I'm there for Deftones, basically. But I'm loving it, I'm having fun. The horns are going up, and the guitar's like looking at me, and the horns, and he brought him back, So there was that acknowledgement, which is pretty cool, right? A couple times actually, we horned it up, a couple times. Great group. And afterwards, some of their songs went on my playlist. Really enjoyed them. And then Deftones comes out. Now, they've been my favorite group for over 20 years since the White Pony album. And I've always enjoyed their music. And two of my most favorite songs are Change, which was the first song I got into with them from White Pony, and then My Own Summer, which is from the album previous, but obviously I got into them during White Pony, so then I got all their albums, which is Around the Fur, right? So got that. Love those two songs, and those are two staples. Every concert they play them. Those are two. They're energetic. They're Change might be one of their most of all time known popular songs. So that's always going to get played. And My Own Summer is just such an energetic song, so it's a good concert song. So they're always going to play that. And so so My Own Summer starts. And keep in mind, we're off to the side. Now there's pits going on. Okay, during when Gojira started, Deftones. Now we're again off to the side. All of a sudden we're getting pushed back. This guy gets in front of us and he starts pushing everyone. A couple of people start and now here comes a pit right in front of us. And I'm thinking, because at this, again, now, look, I wasn't as bad as I was those years ago, but my feet were kind of Now, look, I was still into the show. I wasn't in the mood I got to get to the back. But, the feet, I'm looking at Mark, and I have Mark like this, right? Because I don't know what's going to happen. All of a sudden, this starts up. People run, and they're doing what they do in pits, right? They're the whole bit, right? I'm looking at Mark. And they're playing one of my favorite songs. I'm like, and I thought about it. I thought about getting in. And I'm like, I don't think it's going to go well. If I did this, you got these younger guys, drunk guys in front of me. No, I don't think this is going to be. I want to see the show. I want to, I don't want to be put out on a stretcher. But it was almost like pits are almost like storms. They come and then they go. And this one, as quick as it came, it went. It wasn't even the whole song. It was like the first part, and then all of a sudden it just kind of stopped. I think one of the guys hit the floor pretty good, and it was like, yeah, that's it for this. Everyone kind of went back, right? But so that happened. That was interesting. But yeah, it was great. Again, you can see your favorite music group play live. There's just nothing that beats it for music. Just nothing. But anyhow, towards the end, they did their encore, and the last song they did was Engine Number 9 from Adrenaline. Great song, great, just full, energy song, And there's another pit going on right behind us. This time, maybe about rows, and I keep looking back, and part of me kind of wishes I did. I thought of it, because I'm like, you know what, the old YOLO, right? Come on, I'm at a show. I didn't do it earlier. All right, I know this is the last song. Maybe I just jump in there. What the hell? And I'm like, no. It's probably not going to go well. But I kind of wish I did. It's like one of those, how many chances am I going to have at this? I thought about it, but I'm like, you know what? My basketball knees at that time were like, you know what? What are we doing? Because there was a part of the song where everyone, Chino gets, all right, everyone up, jump. And I was doing the jump. It was right around the time that pit started. I'm like looking back. I'm like, maybe I should. Maybe no. Oh my goodness. But part of me kind of wishes I did, because I knew it was the end of that would have been it. So hey, if I had to go out on a on a stretcher, well, at least I saw the show. But maybe some year, hey, maybe some year, maybe it will get over me, and I'll knock into people. I don't know, but but I love it, man. And as always, they put on a good show. They always do. They keep the crowd energized. But like I was saying before, so Chino comes into the crowd, and he's about maybe 6 rows, in front of me, and he got someone's phone. He's on the phone. Hey, I'm putting on a show. Great, but they are great performers. I mean, they've been at it for so long right now, right? And I haven't seen a bad show with them. The one was just my own doing. But other than that, they know how to entertain, and I was glad. I was glad to see them again, and I was glad to see Gojira because, like I said, at these concerts, like you will see a group. You get a chance to see some of these groups you might not know a lot about, but you know what? Just based off how they perform on stage, it kind of gets you into them, And obviously they've been around for a while too, but I'm like, I just never really heard their sound that much. Yeah, I kind of like them, and high energy, getting the crowd into it. I learned a bit after them. I did some research afterwards, and yeah, good guys. French group, and animal activists and everything. Yeah, it's cool. I mean, they put on a good show, and just based off that good experience, they made a fan out of me. So that's the thing about these concerts. It's like you never know. Like you experience something, you see a group you might not know about, but just seeing them play, you're either going to have a good experience or a not so good experience. Like, one of these guys are going to get off stage, right? But I've been lucky. The groups that I've seen, play with Deftones have been solid. All of them. I mean, obviously System was known, and that was one of my groups, from years. So seeing them play in the same concert with Deftones, that was a lot of fun. Didn't know a lot about, Refused. I mean, the one song, I mean, obviously New Noise is, I saw that, you hear that song when you watch that movie Friday Night Lights, and that's, towards the end of the movie. And so, yeah, I knew them from that, but I didn't know anything about them before I saw them in that concert besides that. But they put on a great show, high energy guys. And then Thrice put on a good show. And I didn't know a lot about Thrice before, seeing them. But Hurricane's one of my favorite, songs. So, after that concert, same thing with Gojira. Didn't know a lot about them, but had the opportunity and saw them live, and they put on a good show. They kept my interest, and yeah, I mean, they were fun. They definitely, definitely would recommend seeing them. And obviously Deftones. Deftones, it doesn't matter, Seen them 4 times. My buddy Mark M saw them 5. He saw them once when I was visiting some friends in Germany some years ago. So I couldn't go to that show, but that's cool. He still one up on me, but But Mark M and I, we're hoping to see 2 blasts from the past later in the summer when Bush and Alice in Chains come by, and Camden. I hope they go to that show. I know Alice in Chains still does their thing, to this day. Obviously, Lane Staley, let rest in peace, but they still do good music. And Bush, I mean, that's just from my high school days, so definitely look forward to seeing them, when they come back in the town in the summer. Ah, my goodness. So, yeah, that was my weekend. That was my fun on the weekend. And this weekend I'm going to Slim's. So we go from Gojira and Deftones to Slim. And Slim. But yes, it's going to be a fun weekend this weekend too. And then obviously next weekend's Memorial Day weekend. And like I said, one of the things I want to talk about before I got kind of off the topic there with concerts. But absolutely, I will always say, if you have a favorite music group, and most of us do, or musical performer, see them live. You have a chance to see them live, see them live. Well worth it, absolutely. But anyhow, yeah, the summer's coming up. Memorial Day weekend is just around the corner. It's the official start to the summer, right? And you talk about what I'd like to do for the summer collecting wise, right? And obviously, we're well in the baseball season now. I think the summer's probably going to be dominated by baseball for me. There's just a lot of stuff out there I would like to have the opportunity at getting. Whether or not I do, who knows? But there's stuff out there I would like to get. The Father's Day sale at Mitchell and Ness is coming up next month. I don't know what I'm going after. I don't know what the percentage off is going to be. That's the one sale that's always been hit or miss. Sometimes it's great, sometimes it's eh. And since they do all these different sales now, they're doing all these like pop up 30%, 30%, here and there. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to offer for that. And I know usually the website does something around that time too. But there's stuff that I would like to get. I know it's overseas, and I don't know when it's coming stateside. But that home Larry Johnson UNLV jersey would be one that I would be interested in getting. Shout out to Snacks. I know the Eddie George Ohio State, the authentic version, is one that's on the list. That's to try to get. I'd like to get the Legacy Oilers one, to be honest. The baby blue Oilers. Yeah, I mean the Legacy in that, because obviously they didn't do an authentic. Then of course I'll get the Legacy. Then the authentic comes out. But yeah, I mean that would be one that at some point I would like to get. I know they brought back, they got back in stock that Bo Jackson Royals. What was it, 80, what was it, 80, 87? I always forget the year of it. The light blue with the Hauser Memorial. That jersey got back in stock at the flagship. I don't know if it will still be there when for Father's Day, but we'll see. I saw they made a home white Reggie Jackson A's, and I know they made it years ago. I have the original run of it, and the just the picture, they only showed the back on Instagram. It was kind of odd because they're just showing either the front or back of jerseys. Like, can we see both, front and back, maybe? But I'd like to see that one in hand because I have the original run of it. I don't know if it's the same year. I don't know if it's the exact same. The back kind of looked a little different, but I'd have to see it. It was a white pullover A's, with Jackson 9 on the back. So I'd kind of be interested to see what that looks like in hand. I haven't in store rather. I haven't seen that. That hasn't hit the website yet. And I don't know. Maybe it's just one of those that just have one of, and it's a smaller size. I have no idea. You never know till you go. That's why I like to go there, because you never know. I've heard a lot of bad things about the 42, the Griffey, the Road Griffey, number 42 for the Jackie Robinson tribute. They got the shade of gray wrong, and there's a few other things with the font and everything. And, seeing more about that with the other jersey heads, picking it apart. I don't think that's one I'll invest money on. And if you did, I'm not hating. There's just too many problems with that one. Not that Mitchell and Ness never makes mistakes. No, not them. Much love to my one of my favorite companies out there, but yeah, they do make mistakes. But that was one initially where I'm like, yeah, I'd like to get it. Then I just, you see all the things that were off about that one. I'm like, yeah, that's just not what it should be. Now it won't be on sale, but I know they just put out the home white satin Jackie Robinson, which is an awesome looking jersey. But that's one that, if I ever get, I'll probably just grab it online and do the paying for with it instead of putting down, because it won't be on sale. I mean, that because it's Jackie Robinson, it's excluded from sales, but at least online you can do the paying for so you can spread it out. Now, some people might not care, but I like to save a little where I can, So that's one that I might want to grab at some point, probably online, more so than in store. But we'll see. We'll see if that happens. Some of the BPs looked okay. I know the Holiday Phillies, that blue, BP looks pretty cool. We'll see. We'll see. I got ideas on stuff, but there's so much stuff on other places like eBay and such that's like, if I don't do a lot during that sale, I'm not going to sweat it. There's just too much elsewhere to go after. But I would like to have at least an option, at that sale. So we'll see what happens next month. The custom game, obviously, there's so much out there that you can do. I'm going to venture this summer with True Custom on Instagram. Obviously, stuff that he's been pumping out left and right. So many of the Jersey heads have been getting stuff. I've been wanting to, and then other things keep happening. Not just collecting wise, but, vehicle and house and, whatever. But so I'm hoping by July I can put my first order in with True Custom. And I don't know what I'm on the fence about the fourth jersey, but I know for sure I want to get the Sonics Road Green, that arced jersey from back in the day in Tom Chambers, and it has a captaincy on the front. I want that. I've wanted that for a while, so I'll probably pull the trigger on that one. Also, Reggie Miller, the home white Flojo with the captaincy, that's got to happen. I love those captaincies. Have you noticed that? I love those damn things. The little extra on the jersey. And the third one, I'm thinking I might go with a rookie Petro Blazers, and then I kind of want to get a home Rolando Blackman Mavericks because I have the road green that Mitchell and Ness did many years ago. I would like the home one, But that's when I'm still kind of debating because there's a few. And the deal with True is if you get more jerseys from him, he cuts you a little break with the overall price. So I think it's always best to try to get, multiple jerseys at one time. And that's what I'm going to try to do. So we'll see. But that's at least the plan, to venture with True for the first time in July. And, again, for basketball, that's all he does is basketball. I think he's like flirting with soccer, but I'm not a soccer collector. The only soccer jersey, I have a Tottenham jersey from the English Premier League. The only other one I would probably get is a Philadelphia Union. I'm not even going to try to say I'm a soccer guy. I'm not. I like the Union. That's probably the one soccer club that I follow. But, I just, no. I can't. So I'm never going to be a big soccer jersey collector. Not full respect to everyone who it is a sport that many people love, and I have no ill will, but I know where I like to be for sports, right? But I always wish the best for the Union, so go Union. But baseball will probably dominate the summer. Baseball dominates a lot of things with me, collecting wise. Like I've always said, it's my favorite sport to collect, and it will always be. Irregardless the brand or if it's a custom, it will just always be my favorite. So, there's quite a few out there I would like to, make moves on. Whether, I do or not, we'll see. Whether it's Mitchell and Ness, whether it's custom, whether it's authentic stuff, Russell or Majestic or Nike, we'll have to wait and see. But I would imagine between now and the end of the summer, it will probably be dominated with baseball. That's probably definitely going to be the case. There might be some here and there for football, maybe hockey too. In fact, this is probably a good time to go after hockey as we get past the Stanley Cup Finals, because then there's not. Obviously in the warmer months, you're not really thinking hockey unless you're just an absolute hockey head, right? So that's a good time to get hockey jerseys because there's not a whole ton of eyeballs on them as there would be during the regular season and then the playoffs, obviously, which I have a game right now going the Avalanche and Blues in the second round of the Western playoffs. But so obviously after the cup is presented to whoever wins it, the eyeballs might go less on hockey jerseys, and that's where you can get some pretty good deals. So I would like to keep the hockey collection going. That's one that I know I said a bit back, and I've added a few, and I would like to get some more, and maybe, in the off season, there might be some better deals out there for stuff, and we'll see what happens. But it will be dominated by baseball. I mean, there's no doubt. Basketball here and there too. Like I said, a couple of customs with True. Hopefully before the end of July, I'll make that order with him, and then I think it takes about 2 to 3 months for him to finish them. So I'll have him by the fall. Right in time for the next season, right? And yes, the Sixers again can't get out of the second round. I just think that it's like I said, there's just certain teams that just Sixers can't get out of the second round of basketball, and the Maple Leafs can't get out of the first round in hockey. And they're talented, but something always happens. Doesn't matter who they play. Something always happens with the Sixers. The second round is like the round of death. That's just they get there, and then but it is what it is. We'll see. We'll see. God love my Sixers, but my God, it's tough. It's so tough to try to keep hoping. But hey, as a fan, that's what you do, right? Throwback King's like you're like a clock with these things. We know how you're going to be, and then when you're right back, that's true. Oh, I bitch and moan a lot after the playoffs, but then when the season starts, I'm back. That's like glutton for it. I'm a glutton for punishment with these teams here, but is what it is, right? But no, baseball will definitely be dominated collecting-wise this summer. There's just so much out there. Oh my God! My watch list on eBay is chock full. Doesn't mean I'll get them all, but there's a lot on there baseball-wise. There's a lot on there. What they are, I'm not going to say. I'm not going to do it. But, one of the things I do want to do in this series, I do want to kind of show, going after something. Now, obviously, I'm not going to actually post the video until I get it or don't get it, because, there's competition. But, I'll probably do some vids here and there saying what I want to get and then seeing if I do it or not, So I'm going to take you in the journey with me from time to time. I'm not going to do it every time, but from time to time I'll, mix it up a little bit, show something a little different, right? So I hope to do that at some point. But almost 53 minutes of yak, right after showing some jerseys and hats. But it's all part of in the life. This is in the life of a collector and in the life of me, So hopefully you've all enjoyed this 53 minutes of goodness. And thanks for tuning in as always. I appreciate it. Listen, I know I've got a lot of positive feedback from this series, and I'm glad to bring this to you. Always will be, regardless of what it is. If it's me here, if it's me in the vehicle, if it's me showing gut and stuff, whatever. Whatever I can come up with, right? I'm going to try to bring to you, and I look forward to it. And I'm glad people have embraced this series, have enjoyed it. It's a joy for me to do. Believe me, it really is. This is, as we all know, it's a huge passion, but there's more, to it than just jerseys. And, like I just talked about concerts, right? So there's other stuff that I'll probably bring into this series too, just to keep it rolling. Obviously the main focus is going to be the jersey and hat collecting. That's the main focus of this series, but there'll be other real life stuff, and other events and other stuff that come up in my life, and stuff that I'd like to discuss and, bring more of, what it is about, makes up MightyFan with you, So I hope you enjoy that aspect of it as well. But thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging in there with me, if you did, for 54 minutes. Thanks for all the support as always. And what do you gotta do, right? If you haven't already did, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you do that. Always appreciate all the support. Make sure you do that. And after you do that, make sure to hit the bell icon so you get notified to future content from yours truly, no matter what that content might be. And you always want to make sure to hit the like button. Like, right? You gotta hit that like button. It shows support to the channel, and that's always welcome and grateful for that. And feel free to comment below. Hey, what are some of your favorite concerts from the past, or if are you going to a concert this summer that you're looking forward to? Feel free to leave that info in the comments below as well if you would like to. Anyhow, that's it for me. I will see you in the next one. Probably have another vid up by next week, so look forward to that. All right, everyone, take care. Slim, see you on the weekend. All right, bye.